welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to be talking about how I landed my first character design gig while I was still in art school, and just the things that I did online that definitely helped set me up to get this gig. And if you're watching this, you probably are obviously interested in doing character design yourself, and I think it's important to firstly consider whether you want to do freelance work or if you want to do a studio gig. Because in this video I'm mostly talking about how I landed a freelance job, but a lot of these tips will be able to translate over into getting a studio job as well. So yeah, here are some examples of my art on screen. My name's Lily, I'm 23 years old, and I just graduated from art school last year, and I was an animation major. And the main thing that I really love to do is character designs. I mostly just post like pretty fun and low-key like concepts on my Instagram and on my socials and stuff, but I also do more professional character design work with more like technical stuff. So I'm gonna walk you through exactly how I landed my first client with like a real contract and everything that I got paid for. So yeah, I hope some of these tips resonate with you. So first of all, I just want to preface how important it is to use your social media to market yourself online. I feel like it's so important to be putting your work out there, and I did this personally by setting up a schedule to post on Instagram. I tried to post at least once to twice a week for like all of last year and this year, and I also made it a really big effort to engage with other people in the industry, whether that's like working animators or people who are just in art school or also trying to get jobs. And you'll never know who wants to reach out to you for a job, so it's great to just have as many mutuals as possible in the industry. So in my Instagram bio, I made sure to put in my portfolio website, which I know everybody talks about having a portfolio website, but it really is the most important thing that actually landed me the job. The client himself actually referenced different pieces in my portfolio website multiple times while saying why he hired me. I'll probably make a different video going into more detail on what exactly to put inside of a character design portfolio, but there's plenty of other videos out there that'll tell you exactly what to put in. But for example, I made sure to put in some turnarounds, pose sheets, expression sheets, and some concept art. I'll put up some examples of stuff from my portfolio website just to give you an idea of like the level of work that I was doing. And this is all stuff that I made in like my sophomore year of college, so it's not the best, but it was good enough to land me a job. And so whatever social medias you're on, you're going to want to put your portfolio website in the bio, so that's linked and people can easily go and click on it. And I guess another big tip with your portfolio website in specific is to make sure that the layout is really simple and easy for people to look through. And also that it doesn't lag or anything, because I've seen so many portfolio advice videos where the people are like, if I'm scouting your portfolio and it doesn't load, I'm just going to move on to the next person because I don't have the time for it. I personally used an Adobe website because that just came for free with like the college package that I had, but there's plenty of other free websites you can use. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I actually think that the more simple the better in terms of the layout of the website. Just let your work speak for itself, and yeah, just make sure that's linked everywhere that you can put it. And I guess just going back and talking about what exactly I was posting on my social medias, I think that also definitely helped. I was posting specifically just like character design stuff online because that's what I love to do, and I feel like that also definitely caught the client's eye because he's already seeing stuff that I've posted specific to what he wants. So essentially what happened was, after I made a bunch of mutuals online who were in the animation industry, one day I got a random DM from somebody asking if I could do a character design gig, and at first I thought it was one of those like scam bot comments that are like, can I have a commission? And I almost didn't reply to them until I looked and I saw that we were actually mutuals with a bunch of other people, and I realized that this was a real person and not just like a bot. And from there, he kind of just briefed me. We hopped on a Zoom call and figured out what kind of job it was going to be. I won't get into details, but essentially he wanted to make a pitch for his own animated TV show and wanted some character designs ready in the pitch deck. So that's what he hired me to do, and we wrote up a contract. And this is another big tip I'd want to emphasize, is that if this is like going to be a time-consuming project, or I guess just for like any job in general, you should definitely write up a contract. That way the person can't just scam you and not pay you afterwards. You have a binding contract. Personally, I really don't know much about like contracts and stuff. I actually had my professors at art school look at the contract before I signed it, just for some extra advice to make sure it looked good, because they had actually had experience signing contracts in the past, obviously. So yeah, I signed on to that contract, and I worked with him for a while making the different character designs for his pitch, and it was actually super fun. He was really nice to work with. I've definitely heard some other horror stories of people like getting underpaid and stuff in the job, so make sure that you're getting paid an actual valid amount. Personally, this was my first ever job that I was doing, and I thought that would be a really good foot in the door because my client was actually connected to a lot of big animation studios and stuff. So I did give it to him for a pretty good price, but definitely don't short sell yourself too much, especially once you start to get multiple jobs under your belt. Like, definitely up your pay. Yeah, I feel like something else that definitely set me up to possibly get hired for this job was studying all the fundamentals of character design, which sounds really obvious, but I feel like it's super important to have a really diverse amount of characters in your portfolio. Do characters with all different body shapes and body types and ethnicities, and just have a really big, diverse portfolio to look at, because that's going to prove to clients that you can do whatever type of work they're looking for. You can't just draw one specific type of thing. And I'll probably make some other character design specific videos in the future. But yeah, those are my few general tips and my personal experience on how I landed my first character design gig while still in art school. It was definitely a lot to juggle while I was finishing up my final project senior year, but it was definitely worth it, and it was a good thing to add to my resume. And it got me some extra money, so definitely worth it for me. And to all my other aspiring character designers out there, I wish you the best of luck. I know the industry can seem a little bit scary right now with AI and everything, but trust me, people are still really prioritizing human-made art. And just be sure to put yourself out there. I know it can be hard, especially because a lot of us are introverts, but you have to advocate for yourself and really show people your art, especially if you're trying to get hired for freelance work. So I wish you the best of luck trying to get hired for your first character design gig, and let me know if you have any questions down below. I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll probably be posting some more character design tips soon, so subscribe if you want to, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.